Good morning. Today is October 7th, 2024. Last October 7th, exactly a year ago, according to the English calendar, broke the world we knew. To paraphrase Sarah Tuttle Singer, we weren't just at war. We were witnessing atrocities. The kind you think belonged to a different time, a different people, a different nightmare. Mass slaughter. Women and men violated. Children stolen from their homes. Families wiped out as if they never existed. How could this be humanity? And then in the days after, there was a strange, disorienting, visceral sense of betrayal as gradually so much of the world turned against us. I used to think that we were somehow connected with different people, different nationalities, different politics, but there was some thread of shared humanity holding us together. But last October 7th, that thread snapped. And since that time, vast numbers across the world have come to support Hamas, to support terrorism, to support rape, to support using their own people as human shields and blaming Israel for that. Closer to home, the toll of the past year has shaken the foundation of Jews across North America in a way that is transforming a generation. Many of us, most of us, have never ever experienced anything like this. Anti-Semitism and hate crimes are spiking, not just in seemingly distant news stories, but in our daily lives, in our neighborhoods. As we saw early last Wednesday morning in Côte St. Luc and in Snowdon. Spaces that many had long saw as a refuge, like college campuses, have become fraught hotbeds. The ADL, Anti-Defamation League, tracks crimes of anti-Semitism and hatred. The number of anti-Semitic episodes in the United States, this is just the United States, surged to the highest recorded in a one-year period in the wake of last October 7th. From last October 7th until today, the number of anti-Semitic episodes is about triple the number during the same period a year before. Triple. Jonathan Greenblatt, the chief executive of the ADL, said that October 7th today is 1 year since the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. From that day on, Jews in Canada, in the United States, really all over the world, have not had a single moment of respite. Instead, we've faced a shocking number of anti-Semitic threats, and we have experienced calls for more violence against Israelis and Jews everywhere than ever before. So today, a year later, the anniversary on the secular calendar, it feels like we need to somehow sum up. We need to think about what has happened to us, how we have changed, who we have become, to understand. But we don't know how to do that because it's not over. October 7th, 2023 continues in all its horror on October 7th, 2024. It's still going on. Yesterday, a terror attack at the bus station in Beersheba. A border police officer was killed, at least 10 others were wounded. Last night, missiles were fired on Haifa, with numerous people seriously hurt. So much has changed. So much is ongoing. The hostages are no closer to being released. And so much seems even worse. Threat from Iran, threat from all directions. So it's not possible to sum up. It's not possible to present what this means. And so I suggest that on this day, October 7th, 2024, I suggest that we focus on that day, October 7th, 2023, to focus today on the horror, the loss, and the chaos of that day. Ynet, which is a very popular website of Israeli news, you may follow it. They have done something remarkable, and I invite you to go to their website later today to look at this. They created a collage of memories of survivors. Some of them are in English, some of them are in Hebrew, and you can Google translate them. But these are the actual words, the memories of those who survived October 7th, about that day, many of whom at that time assumed they would not survive. Itamar Oz Luz was at the Nova Music Festival. He saw terrorists coming. They went through the bush, took people out and shot them. I tied a shirt around my mouth so that if a bullet hits me, I won't scream. Maya Tzialtik was an observer at Nachal Oz, the military base, from which a number of young women soldiers were taken hostage, killed, taken hostage, and tragically, it's very clear from the images we have seen, sexually abused. She said, "When I left there, I still had hope that somehow they escaped, the other soldiers, the other girls, somehow they escaped. And also the girls who were in the shelter. I couldn't believe they would hurt them in their pajamas without a weapon. But we know now some of what they did to them." A paramedic who was at one of the staging grounds where injured were brought She said, "We sat for hours in the heat waiting for more wounded. We only realized when we got home how soaked in blood we were." Eleanor Beaton-Bolt was in a kibbutz close to the Gaza border with her children. Miraculously, they survived. She remembers, "There were moments when I was certain we won't get out of this. I kissed my children and said nothing." Two soldiers, Major General Soleimani and Kenfo, they were part of a police unit, and they were in one of the kibbutzim. A white van arrived. A guy in an IDF uniform signals me not to shoot. A member of my force shouts out that this is a Palestinian license plate, and I understand that this is a terrorist. Elia Atali is a paramedic, and she was also fighting that day. I couldn't believe that it was the same beautiful kibbutz that I knew. Bodies everywhere. Burnt vehicles, water, and blood flowing through the streets, along with children's toys. One officer of the IDF said, "I have never seen what was there in any horror movie. I live in the memories. It stays in my soul. It stays with me." And finally, the words of Hadar Gil-Ed, a reporter for Ynet. Each story is a whole life, a whole world. And on the other hand, it is a piece in a puzzle. There are so many untold stories of those who have not yet found the words. We mourn today the slaughter of 1,200 and the taking of hundreds of captives on this day a year ago. And we pledge, eventually, each at our own pace and in our own way, we pledge to become stronger for the brokenness. May their memories bless us, and may their families find comfort that only God can provide. And may all of us be worthy of their sacrifice. My friends, I wish you a meaningful day, and I look forward to seeing you all soon in person.